one hand to help Cambodia and Thailand.
Yes.
Particularly with the border dispute, the border conflict there. His intervention to put the ASEAN chair was significant there. Also, of course, to attend the 13th ASEAN US Summit. And earlier, we had the presence of US Secretary of Trade Representative. We had the ASEAN Economic Minister consultation with the US Trade Representative, and now, of course, the President of the US Secretary of State, and now, of course, the Honorable US Secretary of War that participated in this series of meetings here in KL. We value the role of the United States. We value our cooperation. This is the 48 years of our enduring partnership, and 2027 we were celebrating our 50th anniversary of ASEAN-US bilateral relations. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a great spirit here. You can feel it, and as President Trump has talked about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a couple of questions.
Mr. Secretary, on the Caribbean, there are about some 10,000 U.S. forces there. That's more than you need to just strike boats. What is the Pentagon gearing up for that requires such a buildup?
Well, we take the security of our hemisphere very seriously, in a way that, frankly, for far too long, previous administrations did not. The Western Hemisphere, our backyard, is important. The security of the American people is important, and we're showing that to the world right now. Narco-terrorists are on notice, and we have multiple ways and multiple platforms from which we can interdict. It's not just in the Caribbean, as people have seen, it's over in the Eastern Pacific as well, all up and down Central and South America. So we welcome the partnership with other nations. We've certainly moved assets to our hemisphere for a long time. Folks got used to U.S. forces only being somewhere else, a far-flung place. President Trump is reviving the idea that our own backyard is significant. We've allowed the poisoning of the American people for far too long. It's frankly self-defense. It's self-defense to understand that narco-terrorists, designated terrorist organizations, should not be able to operate with impunity in those waters. So this surge is intentional and ongoing, and we hope that ultimately it clears out, changes the dynamic in our own hemisphere. So I'm obviously not going to talk about the particulars of why troops are where in every circumstance, but they've got a clear mission and they're executing.
Mr. Secretary, your meeting today with the Chinese Defense Minister, understand that the topic of Taiwan came up. Could you comment on how you feel about the issue of Taiwan in relation to U.S.-China?
Well, as I said to Admiral Dong as well, our position on Taiwan remains unchanged. And President Trump has said that as well. But the conversation was constructive. It was candid. I think it's important, military to military, that we have that relationship. And the tone was set at the top. And President Trump has engaged and has a great relationship with Chairman Xi. And Admiral Dong and I believe that we should have the same. So did we agree on everything? No. Did we disagree on some things? Sure. But that kind of constructive conversation, I think, leads to better outcomes. And it was a good meeting.
On nuclear testing, what type of testing is the Defense Department tasked with, and how soon?
Well, we would work with the Department of Energy, but the President was clear. We need to have a credible nuclear deterrent. That is the baseline of our deterrence. And so having understanding and resuming testing is a pretty responsible, very responsible way to do that. I think it makes nuclear conflict less likely if you know what you have and make sure it operates properly. So it's the right directive. We're moving out quickly, and America will ensure that we have the strongest, most capable nuclear arsenal so that we maintain peace through strength. That's what this is. In every meeting, that's what we talk about, peace through strength. We don't seek conflict with China or any other nation. But the stronger we are, the stronger our alliances are, the more we work with allies in this region and around the world, I think the less likely conflict becomes. And that's the kind of leadership this part of the world's been looking for a long time. I mean, President Trump talks about a year ago we were a dead country, and he's right. What you're seeing here is a revived spirit of allies and partners that look at an energized America, energized opportunities to work together, and the world takes notice of that. It creates a whole bunch of new opportunities, like we saw with Thailand and Cambodia and other peace deals that he's struck. So across the board, this administration's focused on peace through strength in ways that critics will try to point fingers at, but the president knows exactly why and what he's executing, so do we, and we're proud to do it.
So in Korea next week, you will travel to the DMZ. So will there be any message that you would like to deliver to North Korea?
Well, the president has said time and time again he's open to discussions at that leader level. Obviously, our alliance with South Korea is long-standing, and I look forward to it'll be my first visit there. And we've got a lot of shared interests about how we look at that threat, but also the threats of the region. So I won't preview what that message will be specifically, and a lot of that is at President Trump's level to determine. But we certainly understand that threat. We're not blind to it. So.
On the strikes, Ecuador decided not to prosecute one of the survivors of the previous strikes. Did the U.S. have enough evidence to identify that individual as a drug trafficker? And if so, why did the U.S. not try him in court?
So we definitely have the evidence. One thing that's been highly misconstrued here is that in some way we don't know precisely who we're striking and why, what those affiliations are, what they're carrying, where they're going. As I've said before, just like Al-Qaeda in the Middle East, we understood that. We know how to map networks and hunt enemies of our country, terrorists, and in this case, that's what's happening. I mentioned this in another meeting too. There were moments in Iraq and Afghanistan where we were fighting terrorists, where we would have to hand those terrorists over to a host nation and believe that they would prosecute them and want them to prosecute them. Sometimes, sadly, tragically, they wouldn't be held. We jokingly called it the Iraqi catch and release program, where there was no prosecution when there should have been. And frankly, it made our jobs more difficult and dangerous on the battlefield. Now you're having to relitigate that. In some cases, we understand by handing people over to host countries, they may treat that situation differently, even if we present that evidence. It's a risk you have to take, but it doesn't change how we're focusing on these narco-terrorists. They are the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere, and we will strike them wherever we find them. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, are you presenting the evidence to Congress?
Oh, we are presenting it to Congress. We have time and time again. On a bipartisan basis, they have been given the evidence directly.